So we continue with the beautiful Bala Leela of Krishna. We saw yesterday the wonderful pastime of Krishna expanding himself as all the gopas and all the calves as well. When Brahma got deluded and wanted to test Krishna's prowess, he was taught a lesson, while at the same time everybody in Goloka was blessed because all the mothers, they were all blessed to have Krishna as their own child, or rather they got the vision that their child is indeed Krishna himself, which is true for everyone actually, but they were given the direct vision. Same with the cows. So then later Brahma was given the vision that everyone is Narayana, and thereby he was humbled and he came and fell at the feet of Krishna. Then Brahma offers beautiful prayers to Krishna. These prayers are very famous, so we'll see them. Brahma says here that you are this beautiful son of cowherd, appearing very simply in this semblance of a boy playing with the other cowherd boys and the calves, and that deludes everyone, and even I, Brahma, got deluded. So in the very beginning of Bhagavatam, the first verse says, Janmadyasya yato anvayadi taratasya artheshu abhigyaswarat tene brahma hridaya adi kavaye muhyanti yat surayah. So muhyanti yat surayah means even the great beings get deluded. So here Brahma says, even I got deluded in this way, not recognizing that your true essence is Satchit Ananda and simply taking you to be a mere boy and testing your prowess. Then he says very beautifully that those who simply surrender unto you and who do not make efforts to measure you, who do not make great efforts to attain spiritual enlightenment, but simply surrender to you, for them enlightenment is easily given. But on the other hand, those who make tremendous efforts, they exert themselves for enlightenment without surrendering unto you, and for them it only remains a lot of effort, exertion, without actually resulting in any inner change. He says, Shreya Srutim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho Klishyanti Ye Kevala Bodhalabdhaye Teshamasau Klesha Eva Shishyate Na Anyadyata Stula Tushau Aghatina. So those who are constantly trying to figure it out, trying to meditate and exert effort without surrendering, for them you always remain elusive, and they only feel tired with all this exertion without actually having any sweetness in their heart. Then he goes on to say that so many people who have tried various yogas, various spiritual disciplines, finally surrender themselves unto you and thereby realize their true nature through devotion. So all inquiry, all vichara is only to lead one to surrender. Atma vichara is meant for Atma Samarpan. So when we recognize that there is only the one supreme being who is the heart of everyone, who is the ground of whole universe, then we are freed of this desire to realize anything as a personal experience or knowledge. We simply surrender as the water in the ocean is surrendered into it. So we do not try to remain separate and try to experience anything, try to understand anything, but we just simply surrender fully. So that's why Brahma here says, the one who, after all the various yogas and disciplines, finally realizes that fully surrendering unto you is the way to beatitude, he is free. But the one who tries to understand you, who tries to measure all your attributes, he has never succeeded. One can even measure the number of dust particles on earth, the number of rays of sun, but one can never measure your glory. And this is literally true because every little thing comes forth from the same one source. So even all the particles on earth is only a small speck of the glory of the entire cosmic manifestation, and the whole cosmos comes forth from the same one source, which is Bhagavan. Therefore, he says, I was foolish to think that I can test you, I can thereby seem to know you, but now I really know you as unknowable, and therefore I surrender fully unto you. And but then he says very beautifully that even though I tested you and thereby realized my folly, you are so compassionate like a mother. So he gives a beautiful example of how a child in the womb of the mother, when the child kicks the mother is not offended by it, rather, she is happy to feel the kicks of the child. So, Brahma here gives that example to say, similarly, whatever offense I commit or anyone commits is like the kick of a child to the mother, and therefore you are compassionate and let it go because you are the supreme Narayana, the source of everything, the sustenance of everything. You are alone. All there is as the witness of all. He says, Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam atmasya di sa akila loka sakshi. Narayano angam narabhuja layan chapi satyam na tavaiva maya. He says, Sarva loka sakshi. You are the witness of all the worlds. You are the Supreme Lord Narayana who abides in the hearts of all, and therefore everything is within your purview, everything is in your field of perception. So the supreme, undivided, eternal cosmic intelligence that comes forth from pure being is the ground in which every activity happens. And therefore, Krishna, who is the embodied form of this supreme being, here Brahma glorifies him as therefore the knower of all, who is aware of every activity. Therefore, whatever I did by stealing the boys away, the calves away, putting them in a cave, all of this was known to you, and you still executed a wonderful pastime. Rather than simply retrieving them immediately, you increase the joy of all the residents of Vrindavana. He says that is why there is a song that says Krishna is Gopi Jana Vallabha. Gopi Jana Vallabha means the one who increases the joy of the Gopi Jana. So that's what this particular pastime he did. And therefore he says, you are the one self, the most ancient, ever true, self-luminous, infinite, the first eternal, imperishable, uninterrupted bliss. Such a beautiful verse. He says, Ekastvam Atma Purushav Puranah Satyah Swayam Jyotir Ananta Adyah Nitya Akshara Ajasra Sukho Niranjana Purno Advayo Mukta Upadito Amrita. Every word is so beautiful. Ekaha, you are one. Atma, the self of all. Purushav Puranah, the ancient being. Satyaha, the only truth. Swayam Jyoti, the self-luminous, Ananta, infinite, Adyaha, primordial being. Nitya Akshara Aja, eternal, imperishable, and unborn. Niranjanaha, taintless or ever pure. Purna Advaya, complete and non-dual. So this is the nature of the Supreme Being, who is the essence of all. And therefore he says, the notion of bondage and liberation are only names. In reality, there is no such thing if one realizes and surrenders unto you. He says, Ajnana Sanyau Bhavabandha Mokshau Dvaunama na Anyau sta Rita Jna Abhavat. So he says, Ajnana Sanyau. Only the names given to Ajnana is Bhava Bandha Moksha. Bandha and Moksha. bondage and liberation are both only due to ajnana. When we think we are caught as a separate individual, we feel that we are in bondage, and out of this false notion, we seek liberation. When we recognize that neither bondage nor liberation is true because there is no such thing as separate individual existence, then the illusion of both bondage and liberation goes away. That's why in the beautiful verse in Mandukya Karika, it is said, न निरोधो न च उत्पत्तिर्न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्ता इत्येषा paramarthata. Gaudapada Acharya says, there is no such thing as bandha, there is no such thing as moksha, there is no such thing as mukti. It is a very beautiful, radical verse, but that's the exact truth that Brahma is saying here, that bhavabandha moksha is only through ajnana. Neither bondage nor liberation exists if we realize that all there is only the one supreme being. Who is in bondage? Who needs liberation is the question again, which is the real essence of the inquiry, who am I? When we ask the question, who is in bondage, we find that there is nobody in bondage. It's only an imaginary projection. All there is only the one pure essence which manifests in infinite names and forms. So that's why Brahma says it is only an illusion. So he says, therefore, that anyone who recognizes you as the Supreme Self, he is eternally liberated. Tvam atmanam paramatva paramatmanam evacha. When one recognizes that one's true self is the Supreme Self, there is no such separation as Jivatma and Paramatma. All there is only the one Supreme Self who manifests in the heart of all beings as the Self. Then we are freed of this false notion of bondage, liberation, union, separation. All of these are only concepts that are there due to false ideas. When that goes away, then everyone is free all the time. Then he says, look at the glory of all these gopas and gopis. They have no exertion whatsoever. They are fully surrendered and they are constantly in this joy of being with you, which is the greatest bhagyam. He says, aho bhagyam, nandagopa vrijaukasam, yan mitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. He says beautifully, aho bhagyam, twice. What a great fortune these sons of Nanda and sons of Nanda are, because they are having yan mitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatanam. They are friends with the pure Brahma Sanatanam, the eternal Brahman, which is the form of Krishna, which is the Swarupa of Krishna. They are simply joyfully friends with him. And therefore, he says the essence of this whole pointer is illusion exists only as long as one doesn't surrender unto you. He says attachment exists, bondage exists, infatuation exists. All of these exist only for the one who is not surrendered unto you. The moment one surrenders unto you, then all of these are seen as simply illusory and they go away. He says, Tavad ragadayah stenas tavat karagraham graham tavan moho angri nigado yavat Krishna nate janaha. All of this, the house seems like a prison, attachment seems like bondage. All of this is true only when one is not surrendered. When one is surrendered, then absolutely free of all these false ideas, one is always situated in happiness, in true bliss, in true peace. So he therefore says, the one who is ever present as the eternal being, who is the true self of all, whose glory can never be known, who is here present as Krishna, executing all these leelas, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Krishna. Now I take leave of you. So in this way, Brahma offers such beautiful prayers to Krishna. All these prayers are very famous, and after these prayers are offered by Brahma to Krishna, Krishna lets him go back to what you have to do. And then Krishna, as we already saw, revives all the boys and calves from the cave. And for them, because of Yoga Maya, nothing has happened. All these boys who were put in the cave for 1 year, and the calves, they were all revived, and they do not know that the whole of last year has gone. That is, first of all, the time of 1 year has gone, and they were or rather, Krishna was in their farm, in their houses. Their mothers and fathers did not know any of this. Nobody knew. Due to Yoga Maya, they simply woke up thinking that it's the same day and maybe a minute has passed. They asked Krishna what happened. They said nothing. We'll continue our picnic. So they were all having a picnic, as we remember, eating curd rice and other fruits and so on. It was beautifully described by Shukha Brahmam here, how Krishna eats curd rice in his hand. It says, even beautifully, Krishna keeps fruits in his left hand and curd rice in his right hand, and takes a bite of the fruit, takes some curd rice, and everybody surrounds him. They are all eating, finishing this picnic, going back home, and they all tell their mothers that today a big python was killed by Krishna, because as we remember, that's what started the day, which was Aghasura who was killed. And then after Aghasura killed, this whole Leela of Brahma happened. So that is why Parikshit was told that Aghasura's Leela was told 1 year later as if it happened the same day. So that is the reason this happened in this way, that they all go and tell their mothers very happily without knowing anything that happened after that. Neither did the mothers know anything. They thought this happened today. So in this way, the beautiful Krishna Leela concludes of this particular episode. And as we already saw, Parikshit asked the question, which is the question of how did these mothers who love normally their own child more than anything, how did they love Krishna more than their own child? And Parikshit was replied that it is because Krishna is the self of all. So here again, Shukha Brahmam says, Sarvesham api bhutanam nripa swatmaiva vallabha. Everyone's dearest is their own self. Everyone else is dear because they are connected to their idea of self. Because the self is projected as mother, as father, as the citizen, as the member of a religion, all of these become important only because it is associated with the self. But when the very self is recognized, then that love is the highest. And therefore he says, first of all, Tasmat Priyatamak Swatma Sarvesham api Dehinam Tadartameva Sakalam Sagadet Characharam. Everything that moves and not moves is considered as dear, is Priyatama, the real Priyatama, the real beloved of all is their own self. And Krishnam enam evahi tvam atmanam akhilatmanam jagat hitaya so api atra deha vibhati mayaya. So he says Krishna is none other than that self. Because one's true self is the dearest to all, and Krishna is none other than the dear self, when Krishna appears, everyone is so enchanted, so attracted to him. As Krishna says in the Gita, so many places, he says, Sarvasya chaham hridisanni vishto. He says, I am in the hearts of all as the very self of all. So when that very self, when that Purna Brahma Tattvam has taken the form, that form is so enchanting, and thereby it is most attractive to a mother even more than her own child. In this way, Shukha Brahmam concludes this Leela while also giving the essence of the true Tattva of Krishna as our own self.